Oh, no,
We'll head over together right now. Take care of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Some.
No, yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I will now call to order the public hearing of the Board of Trustees of the Texas Southmost College District. Trustees present, Dr. Norma Lopez Harris, Dr. Tony Zabaleta, Ms. Alejandra Aldrete, Mr. Edward Camarillo, Mr. Edgar Garcia, myself. Absent is Ms. Delia Sainz. Also present is our president, Dr. Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. And I'll call on Dr. Zabaleta for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Dr. Zabaleta. Public hearing on proposed 2025 ad valorem tax rate for the Texas Southmost College District. This is a public hearing to give the taxpayers an opportunity to express their views on the board's proposed tax rate. The board is proposing the following tax rates: a maintenance and operation tax rate of 0.091344 and a debt tax rate of 0.020465 per 100,000 valuation. The 2025 Notice of Tax Rates in Texas Southmost College District has been published on the TSC website since August 4th, 2025, and in the local newspaper August 23, 2025. And I will call on Mr. Carlos Pecero, Interim Vice President for Finance and Administration, to present the information on proposed tax rate before I call on the first speaker for public comment. Do we have public comment? No? Mr. Pecero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, President Rodriguez, I have a short presentation for you on the proposed tax rate. The 2025 property tax rate consists of two key items. The M&O section, which is the maintenance and operations, that normally pays for our day-to-day items such as salaries, utilities, other related expenses. The other component is our debt service rate, and that can only be used to cover interest and principal on our limited tax bonds, which are secured by property tax revenue. The three different property tax rates that you have before you that we are proposing are the voter approval tax rate, the prior year tax rate, and the no new revenue tax rate. So we'll be proposing one from those three options. As we can see here, we have detailed rates for the M&O category and the debt service category, so we can see them across here in these areas. And then we have our three different voter approval rate, our prior year rate, and our no new revenue rates. So the main difference between the three is our no new revenue rate, which can be seen here on this column. That would generate the exact number of revenue dollars as in our prior year budget. The rate that we see here in the middle, our prior year rate, is just that, the exact same rate that we had last year. And finally, our voter approval tax rate is what we're proposing, as we can see here on this slide. That rate, as Madam Chair read, 0.091344 for M&O and 0.020465 for debt service, for a total of 0.111809. An example valued home of $100,000 would see a rate of, or a dollar amount of $111.81. That would be the impact on that homeowner for a $100,000 value. Our budget is based on, our proposed budget is based on that tax rate we just mentioned here. The events that led us here, we have our discussions, we had our publications, and then we have our August 28th date where we're going to adopt and both a budget and a tax rate in our coming meeting here. Are there any questions? I'd like to try and answer those.
So the tax rate for this coming year will be the same as last year?
No, sir. The proposed rate that we have, we can see it here on this slide. It's the voter approval tax rate, and that is lower than prior year's tax rate. We reduced that, sir.
And what is I assume there was an increase in tax evaluation, the total tax evaluation?
That is correct, sir.
Can you tell us how much that was?
It was an impact to our numbers where we are looking at a little over $1 million in additional revenue. So even though our tax revenue is increasing, we're proposing that the board adopt a lower tax rate than the year before. But there is more tax revenue being generated, sir. You're correct. Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Pacero. In order to provide opportunity for all who wish to comment, we have a 3-minute time limit as I call. Anybody? There's no one? No, it's okay. Then we'll go on to. There is no action on this item. The regular board meeting to vote on the proposed tax rate is scheduled for today after the public hearing. So I am going to adjourn the meeting, the hearing. I'm going to adjourn the public hearing. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Sorry.
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Aldrete, second by Mr. Camarillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Now we'll start the board meeting. And I will now call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Texas Southmost College District. Again, Present, Dr. Norma Lopez Harris, Dr. Tony Zabaleta, Ms. Alejandra Aldrete, Mr. Edward Camarillo, Mr. Edgar Garcia, myself. Absent is Ms. Delia Sáenz. Also present is our President, Dr. Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. We already did the pledge. We're not going to do that again. And no public comment? Okay, and I will do my chairwoman's report. And we had a busy August. We started with convocation, which was really, really nice. It's always nice to kick the academic year with faculty and staff. It was a terrific event. Our president and senior leadership shared important updates. And we also had a guest speaker, Mr. Eric Molina. He is a South Texas native, proud to say he's a TSC alumna, and he is, or was, the, correct me if I'm wrong, heavyweight world title challenger. Twice. So he had a really good message, and I was very happy to have him back on campus. He had showing off his degree and talking about what difference some professors had made in his life. And thank you, Dr. Harris, and thank you, Mr. Camarillo, for joining us. I think it was a terrific event. Enjoyed it. Last week, we had the rededication of the Legal Center, and named after our former trustee and colleague, Mr. Ruben Herrera. Back in March, the board voted to honor our friend and colleague to rename the Legal Center the Ruben Herrera J.D. Legal Center. It was fitting. Trustee Herrera had always been a true champion of the project. I'm sorry Ms. Delia is not here, but she, along with Mr. Herrera, made a difference in that project, and they took it to heart. And if any of you haven't seen the Legal Center, I invite you to come over and visit. It's an amazing place. It's a courtroom, And what makes it more amazing is that most of the carpentry was done in-house by our people. And it stands, and it's very, very nice. Thank you, Ms. Science was there, Ms. Lopez Harris, Ms. Aldrete, Mr. Camarillo, and Mr. Edgar Garcia. And we were all glad to be there and talk to the family, and it was an honor to do that. I also want to mention, because I'm out there, and I've served for so long that people know me as TSC, and I want to mention what I hear outside. You know, back some years ago, the complaints were coming, and we did our best. And nowadays, it's seldom that I get a complaint. It's a concern or it's a suggestion, and it's very nice. But I want to mention a Mr. D. Perez. I think he teaches English. And a student told me that he was just awesome. He said, you know, I would have quit the class the first day, but he just kept me in the class and kept me in the class. And I often say this in my speeches, that if a student dares to come into TSC, we will see that he is successful, because our TSC family takes pride in helping and nurturing our students. I also received a letter which is, you know, the bad things always come, and people are glad to tell you when there's something that is not right. But I got a letter last week from a Mr. Hayden, Donald Hayden, from Laguna Vista. And he talks about the experience he had when he came to enroll his granddaughter at TSC. And he makes mention of the staff that were most helpful. And I take pride in saying the rector of the Office of Admissions and Enrollment, Ms. Parra, Daisy Gregorio, and Alejandro. We don't know his last name, but I guess you do. What is his last name? Garcia. Alejandro Garcia. And then he talks about a young man, which I had the privilege of meeting him last Saturday at Sting Day, Mr. Jorge Bueno. And he goes into detail how he felt, Mr. Hayden felt, that this student gave him his undivided attention. There was nothing was more important than him sitting in front of him. And he talked really, really nice about this young man. So I met them, and I told him I'd received this letter, and of course he was very, very happy. But there was a gentleman with him, Ms. Vanessa, who was the gentleman next to him at his mentor. And he said, I'm this good because we have good mentors in your department.
And John Cadena.
Cadena, that's right, Mr. So this young man is doing his job and saying, I'm this good because Mr. Cadena has modeled for me. So those are good things that are happening in TSC that no one sees except if you have the experience. So I wanted to share that. Because the good things don't come, the good remarks don't come often. But that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, trustees. I'm pleased to begin my report this month by sharing an update on funding that supports our welding program. Last week, we hosted TWC Commissioner Albert Trevino, a TSC alum, on campus for a JET grant announcement at the TSC Performing Arts Center. TWC invested $84,614 in equipment for a welding program through the Jobs and Education for Texas, better known as the JET grant, which we celebrated that event. We were joined by a number of representatives from our elected officials' office, as well as other grant recipients from high schools across the Rio Grande Valley. We're always pleased to enhance our relationships with our education and economic development partners as we host these significant events on our campus, and I would like to thank Madam Chair for participating in the event. Continuing with the updates from our workforce training, our WTCE team held 3 summer camps. It was quite a diverse offering. With the team quickly adapting to meet the needs of the community, the campus included the STEM camp for 30 IDEA Riverview High School students, a maritime business youth camp for 40 Region 1 upward bound students, a camp for 12 Region 1 students seeking to become certified personal trainers. Thank you to Mr. Mesquias, Dr. Fuentes, Dr. Miller, and the entire team for strengthening our community connections and building relationships with new young Scorpions. We continue to serve students in the health professions over the summer, graduating classes of both academic and workforce training students. Our vocational nursing pinning ceremony took place on August 5th. Thank you to Madam Chair for once again participating in the event. Our patient care technician phlebotomy pinning ceremony took place on August 21st. We know that these graduates will transfer the lives of patients and their families, making a great impact as part of the medical team beginning their first day on the job. Speaking of health professions, I'm pleased to announce that our nurse assistant program underwent their biannual audit and passed with flying colors. This means TSC is approved as a nurses aid training and competency evaluation program for another 2 years by the Texas Health and Human Services Commission. Congratulations to our instructor, Odelia. Oh, yeah. Congratulations to our instructor, Odelia Garcia, Ofelia Hez, and Monica Solis for continuing to operate the program at the highest standards. And congratulations to Mr. Mesquias, Dr. Fuentes, and the entire WTC team for all the support you provide to make our programs and our students successful. This point is Ms. Gasprice here, or? No, she's not. Oh, wait, there you are, Doctor. Come on over and give us an update on the nursing program. I'll call on Dr. Wahada to give us a quick update on the last graduating cohort.
Come to the podium, Mr. Dr. O'Hara.
Good afternoon, members of the board, Madam Chair, President Rodriguez, and all the audience. So the update is that we got 100% passing rate on the licensure exam for our registered nursing.
Thank you, and congratulations.
And thank you for all the support for getting this done.
Thank you, Dr.
And Ms.
Wahada.
Dr. Gasprice. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership and the entire team. Well done. And now for some news from our Student Services Division. During our June meeting, I shared the news of our student athletes who qualified for the NJCAA All-Academic Region 14 team. Well, tonight, I'm pleased to announce that 5 of our soccer players were also recognized at the national level. To earn the recognition, they must maintain a high GPA while participating in intercollegiate athletics. Elizabeth Torres and Romaldo Gonzalez earned a spot on the second team All-Academic, maintaining a GPA between 3.8 and 3.99. America Gonzalez, Camila Mines, and Claire D. Martinez earning a spot on the third team All-Academic, maintaining a GPA between 3.6 and 3.79. Congratulations to our student athletes and to our faculty and staff who are dedicated to helping our student athletes succeed. Thank you. As we are been preparing for the fall semester, our hardworking student services team, led by Dr. David Plummer, Ms. Vanessa Vasquez, and Dr. Prissy Tipton, has held a number of events to engage our community and foster student success. These includes the registration roundup, new student orientation, soccer scrimmages, sign language classes, blood drives, snow cones, and the TSC Sting Day. I'm pleased to announce that also Ms. Julie Villalon, Director of Institutional Advancement, has been appointed to the board of Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. She is one of 7 individuals appointed to the board recently. I know that Ms. Villalon will represent Texas Southmost College well in our community. And now it is time for this month's video highlighting the activities that have occurred since we met in June. So buckle up, and I hope you enjoy the video. Please roll the video.
difference in our students' lives. If you dare to become a Scorpion, we are going to make sure that you succeed and that you walk out with a degree.
At the end of the day, it's not about us. It's about our student. People take a vote of confidence. They look at us for hope, a beacon of inspiration, a little guidance. Well, they know what they want, but they need our help to achieve it.
There was a professor, he said, I believe in you, Eric. Where would my life be without those professors, without those teachers?
Agradecer profundamente esto que han hecho por mi hijo, y que sé que es un homenaje perenne que va a durar por mucho tiempo.
In closing, I would like to thank our Board of Trustees for your continued commitment to the college and the communities that we serve. Together, we begin our new academic year, Scorpion Strong. With our new strategic plan guiding our work, we appreciate the board's leadership in setting the course and as we move forward with purpose and direction. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, this concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Item number 6, Rotary Club of Brownsville Sunrise presentation. We are ready.
You have the big check? There it is. Good evening, Madam Chair Garza, members of the Board of Trustees, and President Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. My name is Carlos Chacon, and I am the current president of the Rotary Club of Brownsville Sunrise, and want to thank you for placing us on your agenda this evening. As current president, on behalf of the Rotary Brownsville Sunrise, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for your generous support in allowing us to utilize the parking lot facilities at the iTech building for our annual fundraisers. This event is crucial for our mission, and your partnership plays a significant role in our success. The proceeds from our fundraising activities contribute to the Texas Southmost Scholarship Fund and provide essential support to various nonprofit organizations that assist families and individuals in need throughout our community. Your willingness to accommodate us reflects your commitment to the welfare of our community and the mission we share. As we plan for future events, we sincerely hope to continue this value collaboration. Your support enables us to make a meaningful impact, and we are grateful for the opportunity to work together towards a common goal. Thank you once again for your ongoing generosity and support. We look forward to your continued partnership in the coming years. At this time, as current club president, Ruben Peña as past president, and on behalf of the Brownsville Sunrise Rotary Club, we would like to present this $6,000 check to the Texas Southmost College Scholarship Fund. Madam Chair and Board of Trustees, would you please join us in a photo so we can present the check officially?
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you, Don.
There's a soccer game going on. The girls are playing right now. So if you don't have anything to do, before you get home, stop by the soccer field. And the soccer team, the girls' team is playing right now at the soccer field. Thank you. Ready?
Ready.
Jeez. Is it getting easy? Item number 7, consideration and possible action on approval of the minutes of the following meetings. We only have one meeting. Regular meeting of June the 26th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 26th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Camarillo, second by Dr. Zavaleta. Any discussion, changes? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Oh, no, we have another one. And then we have a special meeting, August the 14th, 2025. I'll entertain a motion.
I so move.
Motion by
Second.
Ms. Aldrete, second by Dr. Lopez Harris. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item number 8, consideration and possible action on approval of the Texas Southmost College District budget for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. Mr. Pecero?
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, we have for you a presentation on the budget for fiscal year 26. Some background on how we got to this date. In April and May, we met with the individual budget officers to walk them through the process of keying in and requesting their items. Then in June and early July, we worked on our revenue predictions. Late July, we met with the president. Early August, we met with the president. We spent some time with the president. No.
A lot of time with the president?
So we went through various drafts to make sure that we got everything in place. Right now, we find ourselves here August 28th, presenting the final draft to the TSC Board of Trustees. So a little background on the tax rate timeline. So some key dates to note, we did have a meeting to designate an officer for calculating the tax rate. There were some certified values that were provided by the Cameron Appraisal District. We posted some notices on a newspaper and our website. We had workshops, so on and so forth. We find ourselves now here on August the 28th. We just concluded our public hearing on the tax rate, and now we're here with the Board of Trustees to propose and adopt the budget and the tax rate. For the first of the 3 fund types that we propose and adopt a budget for, we have for you a recap of the general fund revenue, or what we refer to as the educational and general fund. We have a list of the revenue types here along the left with comparative columns for prior year, fiscal year 25, and current year, fiscal year 26. We can see we have state appropriations, ad valorem tax, tuition and fees, interest income. Those are all various line items within the revenue. The revenue is meant to cover all our M&O, salaries and wages, and expenditures, right? So this is our recap for the revenue. Last year, $57,364,000. The proposed budget for fiscal year 26, $60,244,000, an increase of about $2.8 million. We're showing you a comparison revenue versus expenses on this slide, and we have the same data that we just saw, revenue up on top, but now we have our expenditure categories by division. So each of those divisions has a respective VP that coincides with it. And as you can see here, we have also fiscal year 25 data and fiscal year 26 that we're proposing. The subtotals, you'll note, the $57,364,000 in expenditures equals the $57,364,000 in revenue. So last year, we proposed a balanced budget, and this year, this is the same situation. We're proposing a balanced budget for fiscal year '26. That's the summary for general fund. The second of the three fund types is our auxiliary fund, and same format, we have our revenue types and our expenditure categories along the left with fiscal years '25 and '26 data. And as you can see, 2.8 million in expenditures, 2.8 million in proposed revenues, with a small increase year over year, 420,000. That is our balanced proposed budget for the auxiliary fund. The last of the three funds are debt service funds. And along the top, we have our revenue, 6.7 million last year, 6.7 million this year, a small change. And then our expenditure categories with 6.7 in expenditures, 6.7 in expenditures again. So as you can see, we're also proposing a balanced budget for our debt service fund. If there's any questions, I'd like to try and answer those.
I think we're all budgeted out.
And we're all budgeted out. Yeah.
I think
Thank
we've
you,
done
Madam Chair.
enough budget for a long time. I move to approve the Texas Southmost College fiscal year 2025-2026 operating budget as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Everybody's budgeted out. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. I'm pleased to report that the approved budget includes a 2% raise for all full-time employees and an $11,000 increase for all full-time faculty. Yay. We did it. Thank you, Mr. Becerra, for all the work that you did. Mr. President, thank you very much. You're a true leader, and it shows. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item number 9, consideration and possible action on the adoption of the 2025 TSC District ad valorem tax rate. Mr. Becerra?
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, this presentation will look slightly familiar. We covered it in our special meeting right before this. So to recap once again, the tax rate is composed of two sections, our maintenance and operation section, M&O, and our debt service rate section. Those respectively cover our day-to-day operations for M&O and our interest and principal on our debt for the debt service portion of the rate. There are three rates for your consideration: the voter approval tax rate, the prior year tax rate, and the no new revenue tax rate. And respectively, what those encompass are the rates that we have for you here on this chart. And those are the columns that we see with the individual components, whether they're M&O or debt service, detailed across the rows. The no new revenue tax rate, which is here, is exactly that. It's the rate that would equal not adding any new revenue to the current fiscal year as compared to the prior year. The prior year rate that's along the middle, that is the exact same rate that was adopted in the prior year. And then our voter approval tax rate, which is what we're proposing for and included in the budget that we just voted on, is on this very first column here. And we can see those rates, 0.091344 and 0.020465, for a total of 0.111809. And that voter approval rate is lower than the prior year rate that we adopted, so the board is proposing to reduce the tax rate, although there is additional tax revenue coming in because of the change in the property values. The effect on a homeowner for a $100,000 home would see $111.81 on their tax bill. And that is a decrease of $3.31 when compared to the rate that we adopted in the prior year. So just a quick recap on when we met to discuss the tax rates, the different notices that we published, where they were published, and where we are now with the public hearing and the adoption, right? Those are the two dates where we find ourselves now. If there are any questions, I'd like to try and address those at this time.
I move to adopt the maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.091344 and the debt tax rate of 0.020465 per 100,000 of valuation. A motion, I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Zavaleta. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. It would have been easy for us to just keep the last year's rate, and we still wouldn't have raised taxes, right?
The revenue would have gone up, the rate would have remained the same. So yes, I'd like to commend the board for reducing that tax rate.
Yeah, but, and I take pride in saying, since I've been on the board, and it's been 17 years, we have never raised taxes. So, and board members come in and they know the mantra. We do with what we have, and I'm proud of that. Thank you all for that. And thank you, Mr. President, for living within your means. Item number 10, consideration and possible action on approval of budget amendment 25-004 in the amount of 10 million. And I'll call on Mr. Pacero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, President Rodriguez, we have a budget amendment being proposed for $10 million. That is a key part of the budget that we're adopting. It will take capital improvements and one-time expenditures from our operating expenses, and will also cover a section for institutional projects that the president is going to work on for us. If there are any questions, I'd like to try and answer those. Those funds are coming from our unspent reserves. There is plenty of days in fund balance, and this will impact it in a minimal way.
You know, this is what being a frugal and conscientious board means, because we never have lived above our means.
That's correct.
And to see this, that means we as a board have done our job.
And it's being utilized in the right way. That's the good thing to do.
Thank you. Any questions? I move to approve the budget amendment of 25-004 for fiscal year 2025 as presented.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Camarillo. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacero. Finance Committee, Dr. Harris, you're on.
The Finance Committee met on Monday, August 18, 2025. Present were Chair Garza, Vice Chair Science, myself, President Rodriguez, members of the TSC Administration and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 11A, consideration and possible action to approve a memorandum of understanding between Texas Southmost College and the Texas Southmost College Foundation. I will call on Dr. Stella Garcia to present the item.
Thank you, Secretary Lopez Harris. Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez. There is no presentation. There is a MOU in your packets. This is an agreement between the college and the foundation. This was last signed 5 years ago, and it's expiring. It will continue if there's no action, but we thought it's time to review it again, ensure that the responsibilities stay the same, update it with the new members, the trustees, the foundation board members. And so there's no changes except for the dates of the agreement. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I need a motion first.
I move to approve the MOU between TSC and the TSC Foundation as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Lopez Harris, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
11B, monthly financial statement report for the month ended June 30th of 2025, and I will call on Mr. Pacero to present the item.
Thank you, Secretary Lopez Harris. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, I have for you the monthly financial statement report for a 2-month period, both the months of May and June. The format of the report is similar, where we have the activity occurring and detailed here along the left, followed by a budget column, and then we have our actuals for the months of May and June, with a year-to-date number corresponding to that, encumbrances and variance columns that we have seen before. I'll begin with the first of the three fund types that we adopt a budget for. This is revenue for the Education and General Fund. So I'll highlight down at the bottom the 2.5 million and the 3.5 million of revenue for May and June respectively. Moving on to the expenditure category, we have salaries and wages and benefits, and those are 2.2 million and $500,000 for May, 1.7 million and 495,000 for June. Our M&O category can be seen on this slide. It concludes on this slide, as you know, here at the bottom, 1.4 million for May, 1.2 million for June. Now, we have travel and general institutional, we're still in the general fund, 19,000 and 182,000 respectively for May, and 26,000 and 164,000 respectively for June. So last slide for the education and general fund is I'll note the total expenditures for each of those months, 4.8 million and 3.6 million. So moving on to our auxiliary fund, this is the second of the three funds. We have revenue on this slide, 244,000 and 167,000. Now, expenditures for the auxiliary fund, we have salaries and wages and benefits, 54,000 and 13,000 for May, and 54,000 and 13,000 for June. Our M&O category begins here for the auxiliary fund and concludes on this slide. Subtotals for May and June are 49,000 and 55,000 respectively. And this is our slide that has the total expenditures for the auxiliary fund. So I'll note those 339,000 and 123,000 for May and June respectively. So that's revenue and expenditures for the auxiliary fund. The last of the three funds, we have our general obligation and revenue bond funds. So we have revenue on this slide, 648,000 and 66,000 for the months of May and June. And then the expenditures, we did not have expenditures in either the month of May or the month of June for this fund type. Our debt service funds have payments in February and August, so it's not uncommon not to see expenditures there in those areas. With that, I'll conclude my presentation. If there's any questions, I'd like to try and answer those.
This item is for information only. No action is required. (11C), third quarter investment report for fiscal year 2025, and I will call on Mr. Pacero to present the item.
Thank you, Secretary Lopez-Harris. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, I have for you the third quarter investment report, which covers March 1st through May 31st of 2025. This report format is also in a similar fashion as we've prepared before. We like to put a nice table here up at the top of the very first slide, which recaps the totals for all the detail that we see in the following pages. And we'll compare quarter over quarter what those amounts have been. So I'll touch on those very briefly. 103 million as of May 31st, with about 1.1 million being generated in interest revenue. The remaining pages in the report have the detail on what type of investment product, what bank it's in, the yield, how much interest it generated that quarter, and we can see all that detail throughout here within those respective categories, right? This report is required by the Public Funds Investment Act, so we prepare this and present it to the board on a quarterly basis. It does need to be signed by the investment officer, so you see all those requirements being met here with this presentation. If there's any questions, I'd like to try and answer those on this report.
This item is for information only. No action is required. 11D, report on the grants awarded to Texas Southmost College for the month of June 2025, and I will call on Mr. Pacero to present the item.
Thank you, Secretary Lopez-Harris. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, this one is a little less informative, not as many numbers on it. So we do have two grants that have activity in this report that we're presenting, $32,000 that were awarded by Educate Texas, and we have an extension of the period of availability from a TEA grant, and we can see that it's been extended through September. The total amount for this month that we're reporting as new grants is $32,000. See that here down at the bottom of that slide. The remaining slides in the report recap what we presented in prior months since September 1st. So we can see that that total is 2.9 million, as we can see here. And again, those awards have been presented before. If there's any questions on this report, I'd like to try and answer them.
This item is for information only. No action is required.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Harris.
Madam Chair, can I ask Mr. Pizzetto one question? Sure. Mr. Pizzetto, when you mean extended, so the agency's just saying these funds you could use up to this amount, correct?
That's correct, sir. Because as part of the NOGA, they'll give us a period of availability that we need to try and complete our work in, and they were extending that for us. Yes, sir, so we took advantage of that, definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Did that answer your question, Mr. Camarillo?
Yes.
Thank you. Facilities Committee. Mr. Camarillo, you're on.
Good evening. The Facilities Committee met on Monday, August 18, 2025. Present were Madam Chair Garza, Trustee Garcia, President Rodriguez, myself, and members of the TSC Administration and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 12A, consideration and possible action to approve a facility assessment and facility dashboard access with the Texas Association of School Boards, TASB. I'll call on Dr. Garcia and Mr. Robles.
Thank you, Trustee Camarillo. Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez. This item is actually aligns with the strategic plan. It addresses the capital improvements. TASB has a service. They do a facilities assessment. They have submitted a statement of work, which is in your packet. It covers the areas that they would review. It covers the buildings, portable included, that they would conduct the review on. It's the last couple of pages of the statement of work that's in your packet. And so they will cover the topography, so they'll look at the sites, they'll look at parking, they'll look at systems, roofs, HVAC, plumbing, foundations, windows, doors. They'll look at safety, security features, they'll look at support service areas, they'll look at our portable buildings, and they'll also do an ADA accessibility review. At the committee, we did a full demo, a live demo. I have screenshots that I can show you of what it would look like. But we will have access to this dashboard for 3 years. The cost is $165,000. This would be one of those one-time capital expenses. If we choose to continue, we can continue it just on keeping access to the dashboard. And so what the dashboard is, I can kind of show you quickly. It's small print, but the front page of the dashboard would give a quick overview of what the college, the number of square feet, which we have about over 1.5 million square feet of buildings. It would list every building, and then we could go into the building and we can get an update of what the condition of the building. Is it in good condition? Does it need any repair? Is it in medium condition where we might need repair in 3 to 10 years? Or is it in a very poor condition that we might consider other options? It will tell us the facility condition index, the percentage. So on that page, even though it's kind of small, there's 2 examples. In this particular fake school district, the athletic complex was a relatively new building, so the condition is at 9%, meaning it doesn't need as much work as some of the other buildings. And they go through, you can see a lot of green circles there. So the condition it's pretty good. There's one area, the ADA, that's poor. And so then it tells you, like, that's a $34 million replacement value building. But based on their review, they're saying to get it to where you need it, you probably should spend about $2.6 million to get it to the condition that we would want it in. And then it lists the different projects. So it's a very extensive review that they're going to do for every one of our buildings. And those are just pictures. We'll actually get pictures of the areas that they look at. Then there was a school in this particular fake school district that the condition was 47%, meaning it's going to take like half of the cost to fix it to where you would want it. And so in this case, with the high school, it was built in 1953. It's valued, the replacement cost, I think it says $39,000, but it's going to cost you about, what, 18 million? I'm sorry, that's not 39,000, 39 million, but 18 million to fix it. And so those are the kind of the discussions you would be having, like, what do we want to do with this particular building? And you can see it's color-coded, so there's a lot of fair areas, some red areas, only one green area, and then it lists the projects. And then it gives us pictures, you see a lot of cracks in the foundation and the walls on the sidewalks. And so that's what we would get from this particular investment. TASB has set it up where that we could pay them annually $55,000 a year over a 3-year period, but they said they were happy to take our full 165 upfront. But we would have access if we choose not to renew it after the fourth, starting in the 4th year. They would just we would download all of the information and we would have a manual file. If we chose to renew it, it would be between $10,000 and $15,000 a year to maintain access to the database. And they would also continue to do assessments for us and update, like, oh, we fixed a building. They would update the condition of the building. Oh, this one continues to get worse. It would get updated as well. So it's a great tool, and I know Mr. Robles has used it in school districts that he has worked out, and he says we might not see what we want to hear or, see what we want to see when we get it, but it's a good tool to have of the full condition of all of our facilities. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. I move to approve the agreement with TASB for a facility assessment and facility dashboard access in the amount of $165,000 and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the agreement as presented.
A motion by Mr. Camarillo,
Second.
second by Mr. Garcia. Any discussion? I think it's a great tool. It kind of keeps us organized and then set some goals.
Definitely.
Then the data that could be used for future grant funding, you don't have to look far for it, it's already going to be there, so.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, if we all win the lottery and left tomorrow, then there would still be there for somebody to pick up.
Everybody's talking about winning the lottery. You're the second person that does that today.
Wow.
Mr. Pecero wanted to win the lottery and leave, and I said, you mean you're gonna quit work?
I guess I have to buy a ticket first, but yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
12B, consideration and possible action on award for architectural design services for Fort Brown campus and iTech building roof renovation projects. Call on Dr. Garcia and Mr. Robles.
Thank you, Trustee Camarillo, Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez. With your permission, I'm going to introduce this, and then I'll have Mr. Robles give you more details on some of the roofs. But this goes back to a RFQ that we released a year ago in March, where we ended up with several approved engineers and architects. So in March of '24, there's a pool of architects and engineers that were approved. You all renewed those vendors in May of this year. And so we went out and we contacted the approved architects because we have 10 roofs that we feel, based on the leaks and other work orders that we get, need to be addressed. We already know that they're old, and so these 3 architects that were already, there's 8 companies or architecture firms that are on your approved list. They were sent a survey of interest. Are you interested in doing work with us? And Ronnie and his team looked at those results. They looked at the qualifications. They looked at the type of work that they do. And these are the 3 that rose to the top in terms of who we would recommend that we would work with to address the 10 roofs that we are indicating need to be reviewed or assessed. And I think this, let me go back one. Yeah. And so this is just the process, and the 10 roofs, I believe, are listed there. Rustenburg Cortez, north-south, which is 97,490 square feet. iTech, 552,900 square feet. And then Oliveda, Tandy, MO, M1, and M2, which is 93,000, oops, I'm missing a number there, 550 square feet. In terms of the coverage that they have, and I'm going to ask Mr. Robles if he has anything else to add on the roofs.
As Dr. Garcia mentioned, these were the facilities that we've had the most work orders put on, and just visibly going in and looking at these. So these are these specific facilities we've chose to try to improve them somehow, whether it's a re-roof, completely tear off, or if it's just cutting out a section or a square. These are the ones that we feel at the moment are the highest area where we need to address.
Thank you, Mr. Robles. Dr. Garcia. I move to negotiate the contract to award architectural design services for roof renovation projects to Brown Reynolds Watford BRW Architects from McAllen, Texas, Gomez Mendez Signs GMS Inc. from Bronzeville, Texas, and Sam Garcia Architect LLC from McAllen, Texas, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the contracts as presented.
Motion by Mr. Camarillo,
Second.
second by Mr. Garcia. Any discussion? Nobody wants to talk about ropes, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
This next item is for information only. No action is required. This will be the facilities update. Dr. Garcia, Mr. Robles.
Thank you, Trustee Camarillo, Chair Garza, members of the board, President Rodriguez. With your permission, I will ask Mr. Robles and Mr. Moscoto to give you updates on some of the current projects.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia, Mr. Camarillo, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Rodriguez. What I'm about to present is information from different areas of the campus that we're addressing. First one is the thermal plant, the cooling tower installation. Still project on schedule to be completed by December 31st, 2025. Cooling towers 1 and 2 were tested and are in operation currently. There's minor adjustments that are being made, but that's part of the balancing testing of those units. Here you'll see on the left the old towers that were removed and the new towers 1 and 2 that were put in its place. We've got on the left one, you'll see the new towers in operation. You see the fans turning. So that's showing that it's installed. The one on the right is an aerial view that just from much higher. You'll see that the cooling tower fans are in operation. Water's running through, cooling, helping cool in the chillers. So it's moving forward. Next, sorry, let me go back. The next step in this process is phase 2, which would be towers 3 and 4, and we've been meeting, making preparations. So that's underway, and they've started the process of evaluating how they're going to remove towers 3 and 4. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Next is the hydronic line replacement. This is all the leaks that we've had throughout the campus in the past several years, and 3 this past fiscal period. The red area is the area of where we've had those leaks that we've had to go in, excavate, make the repairs. On the right side, pictures 2, 3, and 4 are just different areas of the repairs that have been completed this year. Work in progress. Half an Associates has completed their drawings and have sent in the engineered sealed drawings. We will now, they're developing in conjunction with us the scope of work for the installation of the new pipes. Once that's completed, we'll work with purchasing to determine the proper bidding process and come back with proposals for installation of the lines to the board later this year. Next is pipe fitting lab. Electrical work installation has all been completed. Exhaust systems have been ordered, and the installation will actually begin in September the 18th. Estimated completion is December 31st, and currently the capacity of the lab is 10 of cohort. The capacity of the lab will double when the project is completed. Here's some pictures of the lab, of the work that has been completed thus far. It's just different views of it. Next is a fire line replacement project at ITech. Here you'll see on the left, the very first slide, the very bottom, you'll see kind of a red and silver, and then it goes up top. That's insulation, the insulation of the pipe that has to be covered so that we don't have rust and cause degradation of the system. When it goes up, you'll see that white piece and the black piece. What they're doing there, they're just temporarily protecting the exposed pipe so that we don't start to get rust, and it goes down that line. On the last picture there, it's the completed line with the metal exterior. It's not insulation, it just protects the insulation on the inside. So, yeah, it's a casing, basically. So you'll see the different progress of that. This project is actually completed. It's connected to the panel, the fire panel. We just got to do the last inspections on the fire panel with fire marshal, and they've passed it already. So that's well to being 100% complete. It's just a matter of a couple of adjustments on there.
So perhaps we tell them what the project, I mean, it's the fire suppression system, right? So when the fire alarm goes off and there's a fire, then this allows the sprinklers to go on. So it's the water that's going into it.
And that's at ITech?
Yes, ma'am. Next is PUB water demolition. At the time when we put this together, we were on schedule to start September the 2nd. They've had a delay with the vendor, so it's been delayed further to,
September 15th, I think.
yeah, it's right around there. So they're doing their best to get this taken care of, but they keep pushing it back. So that's where we are at with the water tower.
So they have a vendor, I'm sorry.
It's been a couple of years.
Yeah. So I was like, so they have a vendor contracted or not contracted or schedule issue with them?
They have the vendor contracted.
Okay. So it's a scheduling issue to get them to start the work?
Yes.
He has a lot of projects ahead of ours. So he's on the clock. So he has 100 days to get started or he starts losing on his performance bond. So he knows.
We have zero control over it.
We have zero control.
Right.
But we will, this road closure.
As part of this, because they're going to have some pretty big equipment stationed there, when they're cutting and offloading the large piece of material that they're cutting, we're going to cut off or have a road closure, a portion of that road, Ridgely, and but it's not going to be the entire 4 weeks. It'll be while they're cutting down the actual tower. So we've met with safety and security, and they'll continue to meet, and we're going to have a walkthrough so that we can actually know which area is going to be cordoned off, so that we can send out information to students and professors and staff so that they'll know which areas to avoid. And they'll put up detour signs and other markings to show them where to go.
And prior to beginning, they're going to give TSC a heads up, correct? They're not going to be like, oh, we're here today, it's Monday. Tell everybody at this point, no.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully at this walkthrough, they'll have better data as to when the actual, if they're going to meet the next deadline that they're proposing to the vendor.
Thank you, sir.
And that
All right,
concludes
thank you very much. This item is for information only. No action is required. This concludes my report.
Mr. Mascaro, Mr. Robles, thank you very much for all you do. I'm always amazed at the enormous deals that you do and the big equipment and how you all handle it well and how the college keeps going on. But thank you for your time. I know you have a very, very tight team, and I know you work very closely together, and I thank you for that. You done, Mr. Camarillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
That
thank
concludes
you.
my report. Thank you.
Item number 13, Academic Committee. Dr. Saleta?
Item number 13, the Academic Subcommittee of Texas Southmost College Board met on Tuesday, August 19, 2025. Present were Chair Garza, Trustee Aldrete, President Rodriguez, myself, and members of the administration and and legal counsel. There was one item that we took up, and that's 13A, consideration and possible action on approval to pursue, an Associate of Applied Science in Culinary Arts, a certificate level 2, not a good time, in catering and private chef, and a certificate level 1 in baking and pastry. Now I'll call upon Emma Miller, who's standing there, and Oscar Hernandez to present.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, with your permission, I'd like to ask Dr. Miller to give you a brief description of the program and where we're at and the reasons why we're pursuing this program.
Not as tall. So good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. President. So for your consideration and possible action on the approval to pursue an Associate of Applied Science in Culinary Arts, a Certificate Level 2 in Catering and Private Chef, and a Certificate Level 1 in Baking and Pastry. We're bringing this to you because we've done a little bit of research, and according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the job growth outlook for this program from 2023 to 2033 is faster than an average of 8% for chefs and head cooks. As you know, there's a lot of industry moving in, and so all of a sudden we're starting to see more and more restaurants popping up, and so this is part of that process for our request. The high schools that are backing our program, if you will, are the high schools from Brownsville ISD, Port Isabel ISD, and Los Fresnos ISD. They have all committed to offer these programs at their respective sites and have expressed an interest on agreeing for us to use these off-site campuses for instructional sites for traditional courses as well. The new advisory committee that was formed for this program has met twice, and it's led by Chef Salinda Galindo. And she has put together a great team. We have chefs in each one of these schools. They're very excited. I had one email me saying, I'm already aligning my program to yours. So they're very excited to be part of this process, and so we're here for your consideration and possible action. Thank you.
Do we have a proposed budget for this project?
Not right now. This is just for dual credit at the moment.
Excuse me?
Right now, we're offering for dual credit.
Just for dual credit
Yes.
students?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there still has to be some cost involved,
Yes.
but we don't have that yet.
No.
It's not
Right
that-
now, this is just for us to be able to pursue the actual degrees.
All right, fair enough. Any other any questions? Any?
Do the motion.
I need
The motion first.
I need a motion, Dr. Salet.
Okay, so I move to approve the Associate of Applied Science in Culinary Arts, the Certificate Level 2 in Catering and Private Chef, and their Certificate Level 1 in Baking and Pastry to seek Coordinating Board and SAC's approval to offer these programs by August 2026 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Zavaleta, by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Ms. Aldrete. Any discussion?
Madam Chair, if approved, when approved, and dual enrollment begins, is there going to be another agreement that needs to go in order for our general population students to be able to take this program, or it'll automatically align itself?
No, it's going to
No
be.
other further approval would be
The
needed?
answer is no. Once we get the approvals,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had a little hard time understanding what we were doing, and then it just all clicked. This is the high schools have the kitchens and have the.
That is correct.
And have the students, so
And
really,
yes.
it's a win-win for
That
all
is
of us. and
correct.
I'm excited about
Yes.
this, so.
I'm actually, yeah, I want to commend y'all on this. This is a very exciting, it's exciting to see that, we're growing in what we offer to these students. I think a lot of students that pursue this type of degree have to leave, the town, and this opens up a lot of doors for them. So this is great. Yeah.
I'm actually anxious to see what they're going to bake and we can taste, right?
That's what I'm most excited about. The food.
You'll get invitations for the tasting.
Yeah, yes, please. The whole board has to go, even if we have to post it.
There you go.
Samples are welcome, so.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Zabaleta. Item 14, Student Services Committee. Dr. Harris?
The Student Services Committee met on Monday, August 18, 2025. Present were Chair Garza, Trustee Garcia, President Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC Administration and College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items: consideration and possible action to approve a memorandum of understanding with the 2025-2026 matching funds agreement between the STAR Scholarship Fund and Texas Southmost College. I will call on Dr. Plummer and Ms. Vasquez.
Okay, Dr. Lopez Harris, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. For your consideration is a new partnership with STAR Scholarship. You may have heard of it. They support a lot of things in the Valley, a lot of Valley students at different institutions. And we have the opportunity to start this year. And so this is an MOU to allow Texas Southmost College and STARS to start that partnership. And it will allow STARS to give us $5,000 to the college to begin the scholarship program. And with your permission, I'd like to give Mrs. Vasquez a chance to answer some questions. She worked very closely with STARS to get this all aligned.
I'm happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the agreement.
I think it was very well explained during the committee meeting, but do a motion and then we have discussion.
I move to approve a memorandum of understanding with the 2025-2026 matching funds agreement between the STAR Scholarship Fund and Texas Southmost College and authorize President Rodriguez to sign the agreement.
I have a motion,
A second.
a second by Mr. Garcia. Any discussion? Anybody have, I guess we all have heard about the STAR Scholarship, so there's no questions. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Aldrete, Policy Committee?
Policies. The Policies Committee met on Tuesday, August 19th. Present were Chair Garza, Vice Chair Science, President Rodriguez, myself, and members of the TSC Admin, College Legal, and Board Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 15A, consideration and possible action to approve the revisions to the following local policies: CG, CGF, ECC, FFDA, FFE, FLD, and FMA. I call on Frank Perez.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the Board of Trustees, and Dr. Rodriguez, the first three local policies in your packet are included or were included in the TASB Local Update 49. The first one is CG, Safety Program. Revisions include first, the addition of guidelines and procedures for responding to disasters. 2, fire safety and prevention programs. And 3, safe instructional procedures and regulations added to the list of areas of responsibility for the administrator who is going to be developing a comprehensive safety program. There are references in this policy have been added that provide more information related to emergency response procedures and the community college's information security program. The above items, of course, are the responsibility of TSC's designated administrator who will be named. CGF, Safety Program, Security Personnel, is a new policy tailored to TSC's unique safety program or security department. It was issued by TASB because TSC does not have a police department, but we have a security department. And you'll see some of the wording that was corrected, deleted from TASB's particular use of words, and our administrators and administration under Dr. Garcia went ahead and corrected it to make it in conformity with the actual people we have operating that department. The third one, ECC, instructional arrangements, course loads, and schedules. Revisions reflect amendments to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board rules for applying exceptions to the limit of courses a student may drop and to allow for appeals by the student who are not allowed to drop. Please note that this policy was presented at the June 2025 meeting, in which the maximum hours a student can enroll in during the summer was adjusted from 16 to 17 hours, and that section is highlighted. These particular changes for today are made by TASB, okay? So they're new changes that are made. The next 4 local policies were reviewed by TASB representatives, college and board legal counsel, and TSC administration during the policy review session held a few months ago. And that is the first one, FFDA, Freedom from Discrimination, Harassment, and Retaliation Section Sexual Violence. The only revision here you'll see is a revision including the changing of the Title IX coordinator's contact information. The next one is FFE, Student Welfare, Freedom from Bullying. The revision includes only a change of the designation of Vice President of Student Services to Vice President of Student Development. Okay, and you'll see that in your policy. The next policy, FLD, Student Rights and Responsibilities, Student Complaints. These revisions were recommended by TASB during the policy review session and relate to retaliation of students, okay? Then FMA, Discipline and Penalties, Discipline Procedure. It's a model policy, it's something that was written by TASB applies to students who are accused of violating the Student Code of Conduct. That concludes my presentation. I'll answer any questions if I can or direct them to staff. Thank you.
I move to approve the following local policies: CG, CGF, ECC, FFDA, FFE, FLD, and FMA.
A motion by Ms. Aldrete,
Second.
second by Dr. Harris. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Let's clear something up. Let's just clear up. On the, was it at the tax rate? Do we need an individual vote?
Yes. Go ahead.
Investigation, Madam Chair, is not required. It was an overabundance of caution that I wanted to put that into place, but we checked and we confirmed it's not required.
It's not required?
It's required on the first reading, not on the presentation and the adoption.
So I take it back.
Okay. I was going to say, who
I was
wins?
operating under the first comment that we got.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Okay,
My
so we're good.
apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. We are going to executive session. The board will now convene in executive session as provided by Government Code, Chapter 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.089. We're now in executive session. Executive session, and I'm going to take some motions, and I'm going to start with Ms. Aldrete.
I move that the Board of Trustees adopt the fiscal year 25-26 TSC strategic priorities discussed in executive session.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Aldrete, second Mr. Camarillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Aye. I'm sorry?
Your
motion.
Your motion.
I move that the Board of Trustees authorize and approve the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 salary schedule as discussed in executive session.
A motion by Dr. Harris,
Second.
second by Mr. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Mr. Camarillo.
I move that the Board of Trustees enter into a contract with legal counsel as discussed in executive session.
A motion by Mr. Camarillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Aldrete. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Mr. Garcia.
I move that the TSC Board extend President Jesus R. Rodriguez' contract for another year so that his contract continues with a 5-year term and that his salary be increased as discussed in executive session.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Garcia, second by Ms. Aldrete. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Can you believe we're done? What do we have? Next meeting dates, regular board meeting, September the 18th, 2025. Everybody's okay with it?
Yes. Yes.
And regular board meeting, October 16th. Everybody's okay with it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Camarillo, second by Ms. Aldrete. All those in favor say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries. Stand adjourned.